Hi, just a little tech talk today on USB mics and adapters that I found particularly useful, especially when I've been teaching online. Essentially, you can get an adapter for anything nowadays. You can get an adapter for your smartphone. They're adjustable so that you can either expand or contract them to fit the size of your device. You could get one for your iPad mini or a regular iPad. They all have a standard mount for a tripod. So you essentially take the little end that comes off your tripod that you normally attach to your camera, and you attach it to the bottom of this adapter instead, and then you're able to slide the device into the tripod just like you would your camera. Another mount that I've found really useful sometimes if you need something extremely sturdy is this one. You can see it has a ball swivel on it that you can move all around. And again, I say sturdy because sometimes your iPad Pro, it's heavy enough that you don't want it tipping over. So this is a really sturdy stand for a big tablet. Another stand I've found incredibly useful for teaching piano is this gooseneck stand. I love it. You can see it attaches right here on the piano and I can tighten it. And the neck has this nice wire type attachment that allows me to bend it anywhere. So I can show a bird's eye view of the keyboard if I want. I can bring it closer to my hands. I can push it way back and show the whole length of the keyboard. So it gives me complete control over that secondary camera that I might be using for teaching. I also have another one on that piano. I love it so much. It is useful to have duplicates of some of these because it's a bother to change tech over every time you want to change instruments. So that's my recommendation. And I'm only showing you what I use. There's so many options out there that you could choose. In terms of a USB mic, there's three things you want to consider when you're purchasing a mic. First of all, what sort of device are you going to use it with? Are you using a laptop or are you going to use an iPad or an iPhone? That's really important because some mics work with laptops and some mics work with just iPhones or iPads. The other thing is what are you using the mic for? Are you trying to pick up just a slice of the room? Or are you trying to pick up the whole room? Or are you doing a podcast where you need a two-way mic? So those are all the basic options without getting into the major lingo. And then depending on the age of your device, you might need some type of adapter again, but this time for the mic. So one of the mics that I have fallen in love with is this Blue Yeti mic. Looks like this. You can get a fancy harness for it, but I keep it right on its sturdy stand. It is heavy. It's a heavy-duty mic and it's very versatile. So it costs around $96 to $126, somewhere like that online. One of the features I love about it is that this little button lights up red when it's on. It's probably one of my only mics that actually lights up somewhere so that I know that it's working. It's nice to know when the mic is on. And then on the back, it has these dials that allow me to change the direction that it's picking up. So that's why I say it's very versatile. This mic will actually pick up all of the sound in the whole room, which is useful for me when I'm teaching group class because I like to move around and I don't necessarily want to be on a lavalier mic or something that I'm connected to my device by wires. I just, want to be able to move around freely. All these mics are pretty top heavy, so you have to be careful that they don't tip over or fall because that's the #1 way to kill a mic. So they're USB mics because they plug into your computer via USB. And a lot of USBs nowadays, of course, have changed over to the USB-C. So you can get an adapter for that, which looks like this. There's lots of different ones that have different capabilities, but this is the most simple type. And technically it just goes, you just plug it into your computer and usually you're good to go. It's pretty simple. Another one that's quite cheap that's popular on the market is this Fifine, hopefully I pronounced that right, mic. It ranges about $40. It has just a very simple volume switch on the front. It does not have the capabilities of the Yeti mic. It only takes a slice of the room, but it's perfect for like if you're just talking or doing podcasts or you just want it to pick up a single person. It works within about 2 to 4 feet, depending on how loud the instrument is. But it's a nice mic for the price. There are some microphones out there that really I've found only work well with an iPad or an iPhone. Some of them have Thunderbolt. They all have different inputs, but this one has an actual input that looks like an earphone jack. A lot of devices don't have earphone jacks anymore. And if you plug it into one that does, it might not be configured for that. It might not be configured for incoming sound, only for outgoing sound. So this is a Florian mic. It's pretty popular for podcasting. It's on a pretty sturdy stand. All of these are top heavy, so they can tip over very easily, so you have to be very careful. And of course there's adapters for this too. There are ones that look like this and that are USB-C, like that. And there are ones that have what they call the Thunderbolt ending on it, which we used to use to charge our phone. So there are adapters for those types of mics. Okay. So I wanted to show you what was on my computer, first off. So on an Apple, you're going to go up to the Apple here and go to the System Preferences. On a PC, it might be in the Control Panel. And this is just the sound for your overall device. So you go into Sound here and you'll see a list of microphones. The one that's built into your computer says built in. And then you can see I'm using an HD Pro webcam, which is in by USB. And I can adjust the input volume here. I can decide where I want to put the sound. And let me plug in the Yeti mic so you can see kind of what happens when I do that. It shows up right in my list. You might have noticed a changeover in the sound quality. And that's because this mic is set to pick up the whole room. Again, it depends on what you're going to use it for. So I'm going to switch back to the webcam mic so that we don't have a lot of crossover, or funny crossover, I should say, between mics. And you can see, if it registers on your device, then your device is compatible with it. If it doesn't, then you might need to return it or figure out what you need instead of what you're using. Most apps are also going to have some type of settings menu that might have audio settings involved. You always want to make sure, if you want to use the mic, that little, that you get into that list and you tick the box that has your mic. Otherwise, your app or your device might default to the built-in microphone. So now I'm going to go into a popular application for teaching. I'm going to go into Zoom, and I'm just going to start a new meeting. And this is how you would check in Zoom to see if your mic is registering or not. So this is the toolbar you'd see if you're the host, also if you're on a laptop. I do recommend being on a laptop because then you have much more capabilities in terms of controlling what's happening in the Zoom room. So here's the mic over here that says mute. You can see my voice is already registering on the little level on the mic, so that's a good sign. And I'm going to come up to this little hi-hat, and I'm going to click on that. And this brings up the whole list of what's going on here. So right now it says I'm working off of the built-in microphone, but you can see my Yeti microphone is in the list as well. So I'm going to click on that. See if you notice a difference. This mic picks up the whole room, so it's going to sound a little differently. If you're on an iPad, instead of a mic, you might see this little audio icon, and if you click on that, it brings you into the settings window, which just again allows more possibilities in controlling the sound. So we've got built-in microphone, you can see it right there, and I could also change it here to the Yeti microphone, and then you'd hear a little bit of a difference. But basically you want the correct mic to be in this little box. You can control the volume like this. I can turn it way down or turn it up a little bit. You can tick this box that will automatically adjust the microphone as you're speaking. I personally keep that box unticked because I don't want Zoom to be over adjusting for the musical instruments that I'm playing or that my students are playing. So there's many more settings you can fool with in terms of suppressing the background audio. Just a word to the wise. Zoom very much equates musical playing or musical instruments with background noise. So one thing that you may want to know about that you might not be aware of is you want to go up to this little box that says turn on original sound, and you want to check that because you want the original sound to be coming through Zoom, not some sort of compressed or suppressed version of it. And it says turn off original sound, so that means it's on. It's always the opposite, so it's telling you what it will do if you click it again. It will turn it off. So I know that's a bit confusing, but that's kind of how it works in Zoom. So I hope this video was helpful. I wish you the best of luck with any tech that you're using. I'd say keep it simple. That's always the best way to go. If the device isn't registering on your mic, I should say, isn't registering on your device, then you may need to rethink that mic or rethink, the device you're using it with. But in general, it's really plug in and go for most of these mics. They've made them quite user-friendly. So if you liked this and felt it was helpful, please give me a like because that helps me reach more people. And please visit my blog at singplaymove.com/blog. And there are many more tutorials in here, tech demos of music teaching apps, Zoom breakout rooms, all kinds of things, online teaching strategies. So please feel free to check out some of those other videos and share them if you find them helpful for others. So until next time, take care, and I will see you soon.